from General Hospital MV, my GH After Show. Let's get into it, starting with Ms. Ava Jerome, who literally spent the entire week drunk off her rocker, and I loved every second of it. I mean, first of all, she had scenes with Carly when she showed up to Carly's house, super drunk, looking for Avery, and Carly actually gave her the incentive to get better and pick herself up, because she said that she wouldn't use this against her when it comes to Avery if she were to do so. So good job, Carly, for taking the high road for once. Anyway, and then she had scenes with Felicia. Felicia gave her perspective of her experience with Ryan, but Ava brought up a good point when she said that she may have been traumatized by Ryan, but Ryan didn't kill her daughter. Sad but true. But I do like that Felicia and Mac had scenes this week because they got to say their piece with Kevin and confront him about, you know, hiding Ryan's being alive from them as well. You know, Max said that he chose Ryan over everyone he knows and cares about, which is sad but true, man. And I did like that Mac kind of brought up the fact of what Felicia's going through when it's not daytime. You know, they changed the locks on the house and she sleeps with a bat by her bedside and she's been having nightmares. It's stuff that we should be seeing on screen, but we're not, so at least we got to hear about it. Anyway, back to Ava. She also had some scenes with Laura on the docks, and she had even more scenes with Griffin. She actually walked in on Griffin trying to beat Kevin to a pulp when he found out that Kevin knew that Ryan was alive and did nothing. And Ava saved Kevin's life. Unfortunately for Kevin, it wasn't enough for a police not to mistake him for Ryan. He pulls him into the station, and then when he goes to the station, the DA arrests him for being complicit in the murders by Ryan Chamberlain because of, you know, knowing he was alive. And not shocked by this. I mean, it makes sense. But, you know, I think the DVX is also complicit considering they knew he was alive for 25 years. So, I mean, I guess we're going to overlook that part. But anyway, speaking of the DVX, Alex Devane, Alex, that's not her last name. Let me know what Alex's last name is. Alex returns to GH, that's Anna's twin, and I guess Anna didn't really have to look for her because she showed up at the airport and called her to pick her up. Before I get into their scenes this week, I have to talk about a painfully obvious, horrible edit during her scenes with Anna and Finn, and it's this.
Oh, Anna, you've got a bit of a feisty one there. I like him.
How does the editing team not notice this blatant mistake? It's so easy to edit and so easy to fix and so easily noticeable. Ugh, it made me laugh, but it's so annoying that the show just overlooked that. It's horrible. Anyway, so as we all figured, Alex is blind and Anna wants to get the information on what memories of Alex she has from her, and she's willing to exchange, you know, her eyesight for that information. Unfortunately, Alex wanted to drag this out for as long as possible, and when Alex did share the memory, I think she was lying, and I'm pretty sure she was, because who cares about some weird, you know, co-op situation that no one knew about, you know? Obviously, they should be leading to Peter not actually being Anna's son. However, at the end of the week when she did get her eyesight back, she actually admitted that she might be lying and then hinted to Robert being a part of that lie. I swear to God, if they try to make Robin not Anna's child, I will be so pissed. I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't have much faith in the writers on taking the right direction with the story, and we'll get into why a little bit later. But, I mean, this is like the perfect way to undo Peter being Anna's son. No one wants Faison and Anna to have a kid together. It is disgusting and out of character, and it ruins so much of Anna's past. And it's just like, come on, just right the wrong, make it snappy, and just move on from this mess, okay? But they're gonna drag it out, obviously, because this is General Hospital, where everything gets dragged out far longer than they need to be. Anyway, rant over for now. Let's get into some other things. After Griffin's beatdown of Kevin, he checks himself into GH, where Lucas caters to his wounds. They talk about their history as med students. I almost forgot that these two were friends, seeing as they haven't shared scenes together since he first came on screen. Lucas even admitted to being in love with him at one point. But sadly, Griffin's time on the show has come to an end. He gets Lucas to write his letter of resignation. What a waste of a character. Complete waste. The fact that they couldn't write for a good-looking doctor on a show called General Hospital is a mess. I ranted fully about his exit on Tumblr, and I'll post a link below if you want to see it. Moving on. Mike Corbin returned to the show this week. He had dinner with Carly and Michael. I guess Yvonne got hurt and Marcus took her to the hospital. and Michael and Carly distracted him by having dinner with him. It was nice to see him again, even though I really thought that his scenes from a couple months ago were his last ones. But it's nice to know that Mike is still kicking around because I do enjoy seeing him on screen. Alright, since we're talking about Michael, let's talk about his sister Christina because she is so far up DOD's ass that she is cutting family members out of her life left, right, and center. I mean, Molly brought up her concern, she dumped her. Alexis kind of played devil's advocate and she's like, I'm over you. Michael brought up his concern and she's just over it. And now Shiloh is asking her to record secrets to be in the inner circle of DOD, and no alarm bells are going off in her head at all. I mean, I've never experienced anything like this personally. However, I feel like it's very obvious that something is wrong and she's not seeing it. It's kind of sad. If this is how it goes in real life, I just pity these people for just believing this garbage. Now, Michael is concerned enough for his sister that he goes to Chase about DOD and Shiloh, and Willow was an earset of the conversation, and she was absolutely terrified. She was fully intending on running, but unfortunately for her, Michael also brought up Willow's name in front of Christina and Shiloh, so he knows that she's in town. But before Shiloh manages to track Willow down, she's back in her classroom, resigning as a teacher, and in walks Nina and Valentine. I'm a little confused by this because Willow and Chase were supposed to go on vacation somewhere because it's spring break. But apparently anyone can just walk into the school during spring break? Heh! These scenes she shared with Nina were so good. I mean, she read Nina for who she was and called her out on all of her garbage. And they were so good. This is the first, time I really appreciate Willow because I feel like she's been pretty one note since she's been on. But now that she's grown a backbone and some lady balls, she is killing it. And she kills it more when Shiloh does show up into the classroom and she has all her alarms, in full focus, and she's yelling at him and telling him to get out. But Shiloh is just keeping his cool and just sticking to his guns. It is absolutely terrifying just how creepy and disgusting Shiloh is. You can really see it now because he just is so good at what he does that he's just not flinching at all over the situation, even though she's telling him to get out. She does call Chase for some help, and Chase comes in, and he just leaves, and Chase puts two and two together, knowing that Shiloh is in fact her baby's father. So I guess we're going to learn more about that next week, and I hope we get some more insight into Dawn of Day. I hope Willow is willing to say more about the DOD so that we know exactly what DOD is capable of, because obviously Shiloh is a disgusting man, and he is so, either he's just convinced that everything he's saying is true, or he's just that scary. I don't know, but it's getting good. It's getting good. I'm liking it. Alright, before we get into the last major story, we gotta talk about the minor stories that happened this week, starting with Jordan and Curtis. Now, Jordan is getting out of the hospital, and Curtis accidentally drops the bomb out of nowhere that he wants kids. I mean, I really don't want another baby storyline on the show. There's enough baby drama as it is for the show to last a lifetime at this point at the moment. So maybe a few years down the line, but good on Curtis for wanting to be a dad, I guess. Speaking of kids, let's talk about Oscar because he got the news that his tumor is growing and it's very sad. He had some touching scenes with his mom. I like that he did clear out the whole room except for his mom just to kind of break down to her. I mean, he still didn't give a great performance, but it was still a touching scene to watch, so it was nice. It's sad that this is coming to an end. Terry said that he does have just a few short weeks to live, so I think that it's safe to say that he's not going to get a miracle and that the storyline is going how I figured it would, and it's a good thing because I think we're going to get some really killer performances by all the actors involved. So let's watch and see. On the plus side, Cameron and Jocelyn are still trying to keep his life as normal as possible. I mean, Cam's going to them about advice on Franco. I like that Cameron was man enough to go over to Franco and apologize, but also man enough to, stick to his guns and say, I don't fully trust you, but obviously my brothers do, so I'm gonna have to look out for them the best I can, but you're on notice, my friend. And also, in other news, Franco and Liz got back together. No one's shocked. Did anyone see that interview with Becky and Roger this week on Facebook Live? Because, eek, awkward. I get the sense that Becky isn't really fond of Frizz or Roger. That's the vibe I got from the video. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but that's the vibe I got. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Chet, because Chet had some scenes with Maxie and Lulu at the Floating Rib. I guess he's working there now. I don't know what happened to him working at Volanino's with Sunny, but he works there now. And Lulu kind of noticed that Maxie and Chet have a way about themselves and asked Maxie if she has feelings for him. Please let it be so, because I would take Chet and Maxie over Maxie and Peter any day of the week. Any day. Alright, now that we've brought up Lulu, let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about, Dante FINALLY. Now, last we saw Dante and Sunny. Sunny was saying that Dante should kill him first before Raj gets the chance to, and obviously this was Sunny's plan to get them both out of the situation. Sunny fakes his death for a bit so that a guard can come in and hear Dante shooting him, and they could both tackle him down and get Sunny into the clothes of the guard so that he could sneak Sunny out of there. Now, they get stopped by Raj, right? And Sunny doesn't really hide at all. He doesn't even hide his face. In fact, he's pretty much facing Raj, and Raj didn't notice. Like, did anyone else wonder WTF? Because it was so bizarre to watch. But anyway, this big bad mobster who was blind as a bat, you know, he must be a twin and blind, you know, like everyone else on the show. But things go awry because they find the kid that Sunny got help from to get into this lair, and that's when things go crazy. Dante and Sunny take shots at the guards to get that kid out of there, and Dante ends up killing Raj. So all this time that he's been trying to take down Raj was literally for nothing because he's dead now. So they head back to town, and Dante goes to Lulu's house, and she was scared at first because he had to, you know, break into the house because the doors were all swapped out. But they had a nice reunion and they made love, but we couldn't help but notice that Dante has some, you know, some sharp marks on his back. So he's been through a lot, and I guess we're going to learn more about that next week. I mean, obviously, we know that Dante is leaving, and the thing is, Dante said to Lulu that he will never leave her like this ever again. So whatever is about to happen, it's going to be really good and probably get him out of there. Maybe he's going to have a breakdown from all the hell that he went through in Turkey. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure what he went through was traumatizing. So I guess that'll be another way to write him off for another little while, and then, you know, bring him back as a recast at some point. So it seems, I don't know if I like this way either. I thought the point of bringing him back was to give him a proper exit, but it just seems it's going to be like another Dante and Limbo situation for another few months, I guess. Alright, but that was this week in General Hospital. What did you guys think of the show? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you guys next week.